warchant.com, Warchant TV. The transition over to baseball season, focus on basketball and all the things. We do it together, and that's why I appreciate you being around here. It's kind of weird. Like, I saw a poll this morning, that was asking readers of The Athletic, I think I was reading, about how interested they are in the Olympics. And the numbers were staggeringly low. Now, I will say, from what I've ever read about the Olympics, and I know it's changed over the years in terms of the way it's presented, one of the things that I've always thought is that it's pretty clearly target audience women, housewives. It's really interesting the way there's a reason for it. And without getting into details with that is their largest contingent, the largest audience that they have for the Olympics a lot of times. But I actually think that, and the numbers being so low, have much more to do with two things. First of all, we're watching recordings by the time we get home from work. These events have all happened. It's over by the time you get home. The time difference is massive. And what's it, 5 hours, whatever it is. A lot of these events have already taken place. So I think that hurts it. In an era where you can get instant feedback for anything. You already know the results.
Or you'll learn them by accident. You go, damn it. All right, well, I guess I'm not watching that tonight.
Right. And the other thing is, and this has hurt, well, it's certainly bothersome. I don't know if it's hurt every sport, but it would stand to reason when we get past the era of counting things differently as far as ratings go, because now all these biggest ratings ever for any event, that's sort of a fake number because of all of the things that they've incorporated now in terms of how they get ratings and how they gauge how many people are watching. So it's all at once true and not true because they bring in more and more ways by which to count. In the past, you didn't get a true sense in the internet era of just how many people were watching because they didn't count everything. And so you would look and say, well, yeah, that was 3 million, but it might have been 7 million because people watched on their iPad or their phone or whatever else it was. So they're trying to get it to where we have a better handle on who's really watching and for how long and all those things. And believe me, advertisers want to know that. They absolutely do. Down to the second. Time spent listening is still a thing. All of that exists. But anyhow, they're on 16 different networks. You can't find things anymore. I remember, this weekend's the Daytona 500. I bet you didn't know that, Tom.
It wasn't on the top of my mind, no. I did know it, though, because we had to carry it on ESPN radio for many years, and it was always on President's Day weekend, so I do kind of tie those things together. You don't know when it's President's Day weekend, though. That's the funny part.
No, I never do. I never know when it's President's Day weekend. If somebody says, that's during President's Day, I'm like, when the hell is that? But yeah, but I do know that the Daytona 500, which, by the way, just as an aside, we're going to start out everywhere here. They're expecting rain on Sunday and even more rain on Monday. And I'm like, man, it happens every year. Those poor hillbillies, they can't wait for this race. And man, do they get boned every year. Whoa. I mean, absolutely screwed. Every year, it rains.
That is also part of the reason I remember when these things ran, because the weather delays destroyed our clock. And therefore, guess who was in charge of fixing the clock on a Daytona 500 weekend?
Ooh, that'll hurt your feelings.
Usually, President's Day was a family gathering for many years in my family. It wasn't until the nieces and nephews got a lot older. So wherever we were, undoubtedly, there'd be a problem at Daytona. I'm like, I have to go away for an hour and a half and wait until we get a start time here.
Well, by the way, on that subject, in the sport of golf, when they're going to get inclement weather to the point that it's going to seriously affect whether or not they can complete the event, they just move the start time up. I don't know why they don't do that with the Daytona 500. Why don't they just say, like, okay, we got weather coming. We got to get this thing in. I mean, and if it's going to be really bad on Monday.
But you got the Coca-Cola series right before it, or the Powerade series.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either, but I know that's
Isn't
a thing.
It the Twin 250? Or
well, you got the truck racing, you got all the events. And I do remember this because we remember at 1270, we would always give away a bunch of those tickets, like the packets for the weekend.
We had a guy on from the track that I interviewed.
Yeah.
He was good. He was great. He was the lone guy that almost convinced me to take 5 minutes for NASCAR, to go. He was gonna have me at the event, and I didn't go, and it was lost.
He really wanted you to be there.
He did. You
would have gotten the red carpet treatment.
I've tried. I can't.
You should have done it, because I'll bet it would have been cool to be there and see it the way that you would have seen it, and then you never have to do it again. You can say, "Well, I've seen it better than anybody else could."
I should have done it, because here's the funny thing. If you strip away all the stuff on the periphery and all the nonsense, there is something cool about cars hauling ass. That's still in our male DNA. You and I, anybody, you don't have to care about auto racing at all. And I don't. I mean, at all. Not even a little bit. There's nothing about it that intrigues me. Nothing. You like it more than I do, because you watch the F1 stuff.
I do enjoy the F1.
That doesn't intrigue me in any way, shape, or form. And neither does IndyCar, and neither does NASCAR. Not drag racing, you name it, none of it. All boring as hell to me. But I will say, seeing a car haul ass and hearing a car that can haul ass and watching somebody who's a skilled driver, oddly enough, for all of me not watching any of it, I do like that. I do think that's interesting.
It's precision. It's pinpoint.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's devoid of any sort of skill. It's interesting. That part of it's cool.
You got a tight squeeze on the interstate. You're trying to make it from here to Charlotte for, say, the ACC kickoff, and you got to make a call.
I've got that down.
Right. But now double the speed. Perhaps 2.5x the speed.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not saying I could do it. And I'm certainly not saying that it is something that doesn't require some, acuity. I mean, you got to be able to understand what you're doing, but watching it, golly, buddy.
The good thing about F1 is they don't waste all day. You're in and you're out. F1 is done. You got an hour and a half, maybe 2 at most. We were here, and now we're not anymore. Love it. Whereas I do feel like stock car racing will just go and go. And go some more.
Tom, I'm going to
watch. Laps? We got some more laps.
There's like 200 of them, right?
We got 5 more. Yeah. And by 5, I mean 75.
So I can't. Yeah, I don't. Anyhow, I just saw that the weather forecast was rain, and I'm like, man, every year, because I got a friend who loves it, who absolutely loves the Daytona 5, loves NASCAR. He's the one who's weathered the storm in the midst of all of the reticence with NASCAR. He's always been locked in, and he loves the Daytona 500. And every year, I'm like, it's going to rain, and I just say it to be an a-hole. I don't know if it's going to rain.
That's out of character.
Yeah, and I'll just because I know he can't wait for it. And then today I checked. See, I do care about my friends. I checked on the weather in Daytona.
So you could lord it over them.
Well, no, I didn't think it was. It's beautiful all around Florida right now. It's like perfect spring weather all of a sudden after we came out of this freezing snap. And I was like, oh, man, maybe they're going to get great weather. And then I looked and it's supposed to rain. I went, oh, man.
Makes me wonder. I don't think they have changed it, but for us, because the front passes through here before it gets there, and Sunday is shaky in Tallahassee as well, looking at a couple inches of rain, I wonder if baseball might not double up on Saturday.
Florida State baseball,
yes.
We are a day away. Man, if you missed it, just so you know, and many of you in the chat probably did see it, but for others that are tuning in right now, my annual interview with Link Jarrett to start the season is done. It's up. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it there on Warchant, and you can find it on the pod, and also Mike Capozzi. So those 2 interviews were, because I had somebody ask me about it this morning and again this afternoon. I was like, I must have missed it, because it's up. It's out there. And I enjoyed those conversations. And I enjoy this day right before we get to the getting. I love this day because it's anticipatory, and you get a day like this. We got lucky. It's perfect outside. You just can picture yourself sitting in those stands, watching that team and that game in that stadium, and just, yes, I'm ready to go. I am all in.
The background, the home screen on my phone for probably 4 years was just sitting under the tree one day at the Oaks. It was a basketball, baseball double dip for Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably 2 o'clock, 2:45 in the afternoon. And it was one of those days that in the shade, you could maybe even use a blanket.
Oh.
But in the sun, short sleeves.
Perfect.
That is Florida State baseball. They are the ones that luck out in this sense. When Tallahassee is at its best, they are just getting going.
Yeah, and this is an intriguing team, man. We talked about it a lot yesterday. I am very excited about all of the possibilities and the various answers because we don't know who's who and who's what just yet. Obviously, we've got some returning starters and some people that we know are going to be in certain places, but we have a lot of figuring out to do regarding positioning for certain other guys, DH, bench, left side, right side, a lot of stuff. And I thought that came across with Link, the idea that, that's the fun part of the job in a weird way. Yeah, it's fun when you have some answers. It's a lot of fun when you have 4 or 5 choices to answer a question. When you don't have any is when you fret and say, well, it's him or nobody. He better play well. Yeah, that's they're not stuck that way. They've got a lot of options. That's good news.
But if this was a game of perfection, the old board game, I don't think all the pieces fit all the slots perfectly. You're going to have to mold a little bit.
Right.
You're going to have to mold on the fly this season. And so it's going to be in-season development. And I don't mean like it's a storyline that develops. I mean coaching and development as the season goes along. It's going to be fun to see who emerges because in the spirit of that means that there's real opportunity. Whereas last year, like let's say Chase Williams was healthy and he didn't screw up his shoulder and miss an extended period of time. Your outfield was set with the 2 Williams and Harrelson and Wright. So you'd be set there. On the infield, you were set. Miles is going to be at first. Farrow, Lodice are going to be at second and short. And then your third baseman was likely going to be Cal. I mean, around the diamond, you're essentially set. There's nowhere to break in other than DH or filling in on a random Tuesday. This year, it's not that clean. So you should see some competition raise the level a little bit as the season goes along.
Swiss Irish asked the question that I asked Link yesterday. That was one of the first questions I asked him. I actually was happy that he didn't get mad about the question. He liked the question. Who's going to emerge when teams just walk Miles? Yeah, because in the beginning, they're going to. In the beginning, I mean, they know what he is. They know the problem that he is. You don't need to figure that out. Miles is a freak. And I will tell you, I said it yesterday as well, but going over there and seeing him, another year of development, maturing, working on his body. Obviously, he's trying to become a first-round draft pick. He's trying to go and make millions of dollars. And he's taken that very seriously. And you could tell he's worked on himself with his diet and, everything about him. He was already big. Now he's just huge and lean and he's a monster. It's impressive. He hit a foul ball about 600 feet the day I was there. It was foul, but it was, in places we don't see many baseballs hit. That's what he is, and we know that, and so do opposing pitchers, to Swiss Irish's point. So somebody is going to have to be able to force them to pitch to him. Somebody's going to have to be the kind of player that is formidable and protects him in the lineup. And we'll see. We'll see who emerges there. They've got some guys they like, but I don't know that that's solidified either.
Yeah, I wonder where he's going to slot. I do feel like 2 gives him the most opportunities because I don't think you want to start 2 on, nobody out to begin the game or when you're dealing with the top of the order.
Right.
But maybe they don't. Maybe they anchor it and they anchor him down 3 or 4. But I think that's going to float as the season goes along. The more guys that emerge, the more freedom you have with Miles. But they do need a couple of guys to prove it. And there's going to be those at-bats where there won't even be a base open, but they will walk him anyway. And it's going to be up to you.
Well, whoever it is, nibble. I think you'll see that. I mean, there were too many moments last year for opposing pitchers where ball thrown and the next sound beyond the bat to ball was, that's the kind of home run Miles hits is the, oh my goodness. That one in the ACC tournament that he hit.
Oh, no. Yeah. Well, even the analyst was,
yeah. He was
that's all the way up to the plaza.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. Former player. He was great. He reacted the way a former major leaguer reacts to seeing something like that in a college game that he's not accustomed to. Because Miles pissed on that pitch, and as soon as he did, you heard him go, oh. Like it was a clutch his pearls sort of moment. He couldn't believe that the mistreatment of that pitch was on display in the manner that it was. Yeah, I hope they can protect it because I want to see a lot more of that. That's when greatness is right there in front of you. And I got a great chance to watch all of J.D. Drew and Buster Posey and John Ford Griffin and all these guys. It's so incredible when there is a team around that where you can't just walk them.
Feels like that's Cal's job, right? Initially, to hit behind Miles.
Probably.
He's a righty. He's got
right.
pop.
Yeah.
So you're going to balance it out that way?
I would think.
Yeah.
He's probably prone, too, to have a very good season at the plate. We're wondering about how good of a shortstop he can be, but I think he's prone to have a good year at the plate.
Yeah, they'll find a spot.
He was trending certainly.
If they got to stick him back at third, they will, I think. Yeah, no problem.
No, he's going to play. Chef Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, and Warchant TV. Hang in.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
Barry knows cool, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool, you can put him to the test. Barry knows heating and air conditioning, keeping you comfortable. Here's what Barry does best.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Barry knows heating and air conditioning.
Injured? Call Basic Brooks and come back stronger. Offices, Tallahassee.
Hey, Seminole fans, think you know your Garnet and Gold? Well, you can prove it every Friday morning at 7:15 with the Garnet and Gold Trivia Contest on The Greg Tish Show. From legendary plays to unforgettable players, it's fun, fast, and packed with FSU pride. One caller, one question, and major bragging rights before most people finish their first cup of coffee. So every Friday at 7:15 a.m. on The Greg Tish Show, it's the Garnet and Gold Trivia Contest where you could win swag at Garnet and Gold. Only on The Greg Tish Show.
Tired of spending money on bug spray and inhaling all those fumes every time you want to go outside? Treat your yard so you can stop spraying your kids.
Paul's Termite and Pest Control has a solution to this persistent problem. Paul's has a program which seeks the grounds, flower bed, and shrubs. Paul's controls pesky mosquitoes year-round, which means you can take back control of your yard. Not only are mosquitoes a physical irritation, they also pose a potential health risk to people and pets. With Paul's targeted techniques, you can rest assured that your yard will be protected and your afternoons will stay fun.
Take back your yard. Don't let mosquitoes interrupt the fun. For more information, go to callpauls.com. For the elimination of termites or any other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Pauls. We'll get them all.
Pauls can help eliminate fire ants from your lawn, too. We'll help you take your yard back.
Let's be honest, we all have way too much stuff. Maybe your storage closet is full, your garage is full, or the guest bedroom is a mess. Call Southeast Portable Buildings, 580-6400, or visit them online at southeastportablebuildings.com.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
So, Mike Norvell gave an interview to David Hale and Andrea Adelson. This is a quote. I want you to...
all right. Put me on the spot.
Yeah. Don't know if you've seen the quote. Mm-mm. So he was asked directly on ACC Inside Access or whatever that is. And he was asked about the quarterback competition. It was phrased as a quarterback competition.
All right. I see where we're going here. All right.
And since we've all kind of wanted to know, is there one? Is this something that Sperry could win? Given that you brought in more than one quarterback, is everybody in the competition? And given, frankly, who Ashton Daniels has been in his career and, frankly, how little he cost to bring here, it seemed to me that likely opened the door for a spring competition into the fall and that you didn't have to begin things with a assurance to him. Like, we know reasonably that when you bring in a guy from another program that has started big-time college football games, and you pay that person $1 million, $2 million, something like that. They didn't pay Ashton Daniels that, everybody. Make sure you don't freak out. They didn't do that. That would be crazy. But anyhow, when you do that, when you bring in a DJ Ungulale, that he's going to start. I mean, that's the way it's going to be. And when you brought in Tommy Castellanos because he had worked with Gus previously and they thought, quote unquote, he's a perfect fit for what Gus wants to run, there was no doubt that Tommy was going to be the starter. But Florida State fans, rightfully, this go-around have said, I don't know. Sperry's been here. He was lauded. Now Gus is gone, but Mike has said a lot of glowing things about Kevin Sperry. So the thought is, okay, Ashton Daniels hasn't been very good in his college career. Kevin Sperry's been here. Could this be a competition? And the question was asked about the room. And is this going to be a true, I'm quoting now, this is going to be a true open quarterback competition with Kevin Sperry in the spring? So David got right to it. That's a straightforward question. I'm really excited about the room. Anytime you have a transfer quarterback in that has experience, which Ashton has played a lot of football. I think this last year you saw him going into Auburn and redshirting through the course of the year, playing those last few games. You saw growth in his productivity there late in the season and the opportunities that he got. We do have big expectations for what it's going to look like here at Florida State. I've got a lot of confidence in the guys in that room. Well, he just told you Ashton Daniels is starting.
Interesting. I take something completely differently out of that.
I don't know, man. I mean, he began the answer with a whole lot about Ashton Daniels.
Yeah, but the first thing he said was a non sequitur. It was like he's deflecting from having to definitively declare Ashton Daniels the starter. I'm excited about the room. I'm not excited about Ashton.
Well, I think that when you begin the answer about a quarterback competition by specifically naming Ashton Daniels and talking about how good he looked at the end of the year and the growth that he showed, quote, late in the season, we have expectations for what it's going to look like here at Florida State. To me, I think he's setting you up to show you that, hey, that guy's the leader in the clubhouse. It doesn't mean there won't be one.
Right. Yeah, I'm gathering that, well, when Gus was my offensive coordinator, we decided to make this guy our guy.
Okay,
I co-signed it, so I got to make sure that if a name comes out of my mouth first, it's Ashton Daniels, but I'm excited about the room. We'll see where things go.
He went on to say this. You've mentioned Kevin Sperry. He's a talented young man.
Oh, all right, so there's more. All right.
You mentioned Kevin Sperry. He's a talented young man. And that's what these guys are going to do. He goes on to talk about compete. I'm kind of ciphering through his mumbo
I hope
jumbo.
that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, they're going to compete. Every day they're going to show up, put their best foot forward, push to lead this football team. Went on to say, when you have a guy that is older, that has experience, there are high expectations for what that can look like. And I think Ashton is excited about that opportunity that's there before him.
That's stronger in Ashton's camp.
Yeah, he's telling you Ashton's going to play. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen because Ashton could come in here and be terrible, and then it's a moot point. Sperry's playing. I don't care because I don't think we're really well off at quarterback with either one of them playing. So actually, I shouldn't say I don't care. I do care. I wish we were better in terms of what we had in the quarterback room. But what I mean is I'm not rooting for either guy to win the job. It doesn't make any difference to me. I want the guy who plays best in spring to lead the way in the fall and then lead the way once the season starts. But I think
what that sounds like is we brought in Ashton out of the portal. He's got 1 year left. He's going to get every opportunity to win the job versus, he's the starter and we don't have a competition.
Right.
I think I'm affording him all those opportunities because we think we're buying low on a stock that's rising. But he didn't say it straight up that, Ashton's our guy. We brought him in to start. He could have said that. And Mike has said things strong enough that way before, where last year he was asked about Tommy and maybe getting Sperry some reps. He says any rep that we don't have Tommy on the field is not a good thing, or something like that, where he didn't need to be definitive. We were losing games left and right. You didn't have to marry yourself to Tommy. So Mike is willing to go there sometimes. I think he's just saying we brought Ashton in. He's got the first crack at it. We'll see.
Brett, this is a good point you make here. This isn't the NFL. Why should any coach answer anything other than there is a competition at the position? Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Unless you're bringing in, a $3 million, $4 million player, because that is akin to the NFL, where you bring in a big free agent and they sign a huge contract. They don't do it to sit. And usually assurances are made. But in this case, I see your point there. But this is not a big money free agent, if you will. This is a guy you kind of, I'm not disparaging the kid when I say this, but if we're looking at the tiers of quarterbacks that were available, this is a very low tier quarterback. You didn't bring in a top 30 guy.
I think what they're saying is, with the way they operated, we don't have unlimited funds.
Yeah, they're definitely saying that.
And the difference between an $800,000, $500,000, and $3 million quarterback, I don't know. It's that player's better at 3, but this is the weakest $3 million quarterback there will ever have been because the market continues to go crazy. And is it really smart to throw $2 extra million after a guy who's going to make you a little bit better?
Well, that was my point. Some people took it the wrong way. When I talked about they may have fallen into the right decision, there was some blowback. People were like, what do you mean? The market is $5 million, $6 million, $7 million in some cases for the top tier quarterbacks. And you're saying they fell into the right guy as if to say that you don't like any of those other options. I didn't like any of those other options for Florida State because of all the holes in the lineup. You weren't a realistic player for any of the top tier quarterbacks. You weren't. So I didn't even really consider that. You weren't in the running for the 5 or 6 best quarterbacks that were on the board that would have elicited that kind of money. So then you had to look at the tier below that. And that tier was the $2 million guy, $2 to $3 million guy. I didn't believe that was realistic either. But when right off the bat, you brought in 2 guys, neither of which you and I thought were a fit for the system or all that.
I didn't think Calandria would have been a cost-effective move.
For what they would have had to pay Calandria, I thought, no, don't.
Yeah, you're batting around 2, give or take. You're batting around $2 million for his services.
Yeah, don't do that. I'm not paying $2 million for Calandria.
Yeah, you give me, yes.
And Lagway made no sense. With all the injuries that he's amassed, he's not a threat to run around and do those things. I mean, I didn't see the point of that. So at that point, rather than spend millions of dollars, okay, if we're going to be down here in this realm, get you somebody that runs around the way Ashton runs around and the way that you kind of run your offense. Now, this was all before Gus retired abruptly after we made the move to bring in a quarterback that fits specifically this offense.
The thing is, he does and he doesn't. Because his weak point as a passer is Gus.
He's not accurate.
Well, Gus wants deep downfield shots. He doesn't have the arm. Unless something changes in his mechanics that unlocks new power, like the way Patrick Harrington can now hit bombs that he couldn't hit 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's some kind of secret magic in the moonlight for Ashton, those downfield shots need to be anticipated. They can't be seen and thrown. You got to throw it when the guy's on the way out and early, more like a wheel route than a straight down the field deep shot. Honestly, Ashton couldn't be much more different than Tommy year over year. Tommy was shorter, could not throw over the middle of the field, but had a pretty strong arm for the size that he was.
Strong and inaccurate.
Not a great pocket awareness player
at all.
Really good runner.
Couldn't diagnose the defense.
Ashton doesn't have the arm. Ashton uses the middle of the field. Ashton has better pocket awareness. Is it perfect? No, but he's got better footwork underneath him. He's better technically, but he doesn't have a strong arm. So you're dealing with a couple of different guys here. And McCullough put it in the chat a little earlier. He says, I hope the best passer or the best passer should play. They all can run a little bit. I think that's fair. The dynamics of managing the pocket, pre-snap reads are going to matter too now in Mike's offense. But they all can run. It's not like Sperry is a Glennon. Sperry can run. So
Sperry
can
can run,
And
absolutely.
Sperry's got a better arm than Ashton does.
Yeah, I don't think either one of them have good arms, great arms. Well, this is the predicament we find ourselves in. We're swimming in mediocrity until proven otherwise, meaning at the position, because we're below mediocre when it comes to the wins and losses. But as far as the position goes, these are your options. It's not fun.
Yeah, and Brett asked if Ashton doesn't have the arm, how does that affect Deuce? Yeah, you're going to have to see different parts of the route tree for Deuce. It doesn't mean that they won't get downfield shots.
Yeah, they'll set it up. They'll set it up, right.
The one thing that Ashton does really well, here's another difference between he and Tommy, the back shoulder fade near the end zone. Tommy would always go back pylon, and Deuce get hung out to dry.
And Deuce also needed to catch those and didn't, and needs to get better at it.
He did, but he's much better on the back shoulder, which that's actually an easier throw and easier play for the receiver. Ashton has those dynamics in the red zone. But, yeah, those deep downfield shots, I mean, personally speaking, that's what I'm going to be watching when we start in week 0 and week 1. If it's Ashton, we got a little bit more pop in that arm, or are we pop gunning it? What are we doing here?
You didn't sell it well, Tom. I don't think anybody's excited about that competition.
Mike has more throws than just the deep ball, so you might actually have worked your way into a better offense for the route tree for Ashton.
No, buddy. I do. That answer tells me that he's wanting Ashton to get first chance here. Hopefully, it's a fierce competition. You want that at every position, anyhow. And there is nobody here that you're paying so much money to that you have to play them. And by the way, the reason coaches do that, to answer the original part of that question, is why wouldn't anybody just say everything's a competition? Because in certain cases with NIL, anyhow, if you bring a guy in and you're paying him millions of dollars, that guy is presumably coming here not just because he had the money opportunity. He had that money opportunity at several other places when he chose your place. And he chose your place because of the promises you likely had to make about how much playing time he was probably going to get. And so when you don't do that, then you sour the pool for the next year of potential transfer portal players whose agents tell them, by the way, they'll lie to you. They were, that doesn't typically happen. You're not going to offer somebody $1 million to not play him. But if you were to do that and then not play him, I don't think that bodes well for you drawing interest from others the next year who are going to be high paid transfers.
Well, that's the other thing is the agent community is forming right now. And you've got some power players who you might not hit on this kid, or it might not work out for this kid in Tallahassee, but he represents somebody for the next cycle and the next cycle. And so you do have to be careful with how you handle agents. You don't want to leave a sour taste in their mouth, whether it's portal negotiations, whether it's high school negotiations, communication versus reality as to where you fit in the depth chart, because the agent will remember the kid's gone, but you still need to be able to work out with these third party people. And they are getting much more professional as the years go by.
More professional, more organized, better understanding of who's what in the market, who's going to pay, who won't pay, who has a forward-thinking view on this, who doesn't, who's antiquated, who's getting passed by. Also, which programs are on the come up and which ones are beginning to wane. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, this agents, as this gets more refined and they get better at their job, forging the good relationships with these individuals who help steer players when all things are equal in your direction, it's going to be important. I don't think Florida State did anything to offend or ruin relationships with agents a year ago. They were non-starters. They were not in the game. They were not considered. They didn't matter in the way that you need to matter for free agents, since we're basically talking about pro football. I mean, they weren't going to steer. You've got a big-time linebacker. He's got an agent. that agent says you can go play for the Ravens or the Titans. We were the Titans in this example. We weren't getting serious consideration. Is that fair?
It is. Yeah, I do think this particular cycle, we were a little bumpy at some points with our communication, but.
Oh, well, maybe bumpy and because we didn't know what we were doing, but not as in a purposeful misleading.
Probably not.
The Calandria stuff is maybe what you're thinking about, and I'm not a big fan of that kid and his representatives, and he's a Lakewood kid.
I know. I think it takes two to tango in a lot of these situations.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas have something special for everybody that's been waiting to get a new hot tub. Hey, if that's you, listen up. Costco pricing. Oh, I'm incorporating the Costco pricing.
People
How about
snap
that?
Their heads back. What?
That's right. Right now, while supplies last, Pinch a Penny has started with Costco, partnered with, I should say, with Costco for an exclusive partnership and discounted pricing plan. That's good. Only for a short period of time. Only while hot tubs are still available. Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas has the hot tub you've always wanted now at prices you won't see again. If you're already, let's say, one who has a hot tub and you're kind of tired of it. Maybe it's older. It's weathered. You don't like it the way you used to. You're not using it the way you used to, but you've been, kind of putting it off. You don't know what to do with getting rid of it. Don't worry. Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas will come and haul it away. They'll deliver the new one, give you some money towards it. Check them out. Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas, huge showroom on Greer Road off Capitol Circle. Exclusive Costco partnership pricing is available right now in their store for a limited time.
Your local news now.
Hitting the suspect. As a result, the suspect was transported to a local hospital in critical condition. This is an ongoing investigation. This is Rachel Linnea with your Oil Talk 93.3 local news update. Brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Mainly clear skies this afternoon with a high of 73. Northerly winds around 5 miles per hour. Mainly clear again tonight, 47. Daytime highs approaching 73 tomorrow. Ample sunshine expected. More clouds than sun Saturday with highs in the low 70s. Thunderstorms likely Sunday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently, it's 69 degrees.
Start your engines, Tallahassee. Hot Wheels monster trucks are crashing into the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center, April 11th and 12th. And families can score 50% off one adult and one kid ticket. Use promo code LOVE before February 15th. Big jumps, massive trucks, full throttle action. It's loud, it's wild, it's unforgettable. It's Hot Wheels monster trucks. Use discount code LOVE to grab your discounted family tickets. Now at Ticketmaster.com before this offer races away.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy?
I was just thinking, they never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Oh, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct. Yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played. But
And they still try to break the rules, right?
Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life.
And the best game you ever played was that game.
Never been a better one.
Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff?
I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
I did not see this. Stephen McDonald, thanks for the contribution. What up, my Knowles? Just did an appraisal and met Vic Beasley. He said we did not expect that 2013 team to be that good. Jameis and that defense, so good. Great guy. All right, good. That's cool. Yeah, I didn't expect us to be that good. Good God, man.
Yeah, it looked like it.
We were awesome.
They thought all they had to do was hop on the bus and walk down a hill. And they was wrong.
Yeah, it was wrong for sure. It was beautiful. Swiss Irish. So Sunday red is closer to garnet than the current uniforms, Tom?
Ain't that the truth? Many things are. We're closer to Virginia Tech than we are the true garnet.
You know, the lighting in this room has now changed so that you can see this is Leon red and I'm not being accused of wearing orange.
Oh, the horror.
The horror.
The
of it
horror.
all. Yes.
Come on, Jeff.
Actual
Be better.
Red. Hey, by the way, on that note with the Sunday red, Tiger Woods brand.
That's right.
I think that we're properly guessing that's probably going to happen. Not for any other sport but golf, but I think that's going to happen.
I want some Sunday red shoes. Not color red, but I want some Sunday red brand Florida State shoes. Need that.
Well, they'll be white.
Sounds good.
The white golf shoes bother me sometimes.
They do? I got a pair of all white.
Very
Adidas.
hard to keep clean.
I have kept them 90% clean.
Just too much work. It's just too much.
Can't help you there.
It's too much work to keep your clean shoes,
Well,
man.
it's also important that if you're going out in the morning, early in the morning, to not wear those shoes at that time.
No.
Because of the dew. That makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, it does. It's
A
not
little afternoon twilight like we play, and as this the sun is going to stay out longer, man, you can wear the white shoes then. Ain't no thing.
Yeah, all right. I don't usually go that route, but they would have to because we're not going to be wearing red. I mean, we're not. I know we haven't perfected the garnet in the way that you'd like, and I know it pisses you off, and I understand, but we're not wearing red.
Well, some brands get it right and some don't. For example, the part of the reason I love the New Era hat that I wear most every day, I took today off. I said I would, Thursday.
You did, yeah.
That is garnet. That is nailed the color. New Era has it right. If you hold that next to the Nike hat, the counterpart, you will see that there is more purplish in the Nike Florida State high brand.
You know, by the way, we have never gotten the right answer on this. Now, for as often as this comes up on the show, because we are passionate about the true garnet.
You were lied to in 14.
I was lied to.
They put them on the table, so it's the same color.
I was in shock when they said that.
Say it again. It's the same color. Say it again. It's the same color.
And I complained at that time.
Yep, I did too.
I said, come on now.
I called you for claiming. I said, buddy, these are
Where
Boston
was
colors.
I? Where was
I don't know where you were.
I was gone. I had left. I was somewhere else. And you called me to tell me because I had gone over there to get a sneak peek. They had invited me over to take. They knew I was going to be talking about it. They were trying to bribe me, I think.
There was a lot of gaslighting going on as well.
So
lots of it.
I went over there and they said, welcome in, Jeff. I should have known when they were so nice. Normally, they're slightly perturbed at me. At any given time with FSU in my relationship is they're slightly perturbed, a little angry, or very happy. Just depends on the opinion of the moment.
Sometimes it's arms wide open.
Yeah.
Hey,
sometimes
there
it's
he
like,
is.
hey, there's our guy. What's up, Seminole? Other times it's, how you doing? That's what I get. It just depends on whatever it is I'm positing for the week or the things I'm happy or mad about and that we're discussing on the air. Or if I'm attacking certain people, whatever that might be. I'm used to it. It's all right. Ain't no thing to me. I'm going to keep on. But then they were like, come on in. Wait till you get a look at these new uniforms. All right, fellas, it's good to be here. Thanks for inviting me. I can't wait. And they had them all laid out.
With the gold numbers?
Yeah, and I was like, nope, not that one. We don't want to do that one. Nope, that ain't going to get it done. Got to do this one over here. This one's better. What's going on with the garnet? Oh, that's the same garnet. That's not the same garnet. I was then told, Well, the way we have it laid out here on the floor, it's not the same garnet. You're right. But we adjusted for when the players sweat and they're under the lights.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
So
the lighting is going to make it look right.
Once the lights are on in the stadium and the players have begun to sweat, it actually morphs into the perfect garnet like you've always known. So just seeing him sitting here dry on the couch like that, you can't know. You can't, Jeff, don't judge him by that.
Yeah, the problem
That's the way it was laid out.
Once we got under the lights, those uniforms looked like if Grimace had gone to Chernobyl. It's radioactive purple.
Poor Grimace. We're throwing him out to Chernobyl.
He's like, it's radioactive purple is what that was.
Yeah, so that was disappointing because then we got him out there under the lights and in the sweat, and we're like, no, that's not morphing into the perfect garnet. That's not morphing at all.
Moreover, the helmet is white gold. It's not even. It's like that white gold that you would get thrown in front of you.
Yeah.
Now, if you do want the white gold class ring, you can get it for 15% off. Like, I'm not doing the white gold, man, but it's 15% off. Yeah, I know why it's discounted. It sucks.
It sucks, and I don't want it. But yeah, wherever I was when they had it was downtown, wasn't it? When they had the parade of players.
Yeah, it was at Clayman Plaza. Yeah. Ignition Tradition.
Oh. And they botched that because people saw the new logo at Walmart before they had unveiled it.
Oh, that's right.
Some of the gear got out too soon, and so they butchered the whole thing.
Oh, people were furious, and they still are furious. I
know. To the point where we troll those people.
Chief Walmart.
Yeah, but
that's where we went with the logo instead of the new logo. It's the logo. I like the old logo too, but the
logo's fine. No, what I always loved was how mad. I remember people taking pictures because they saw the shirt in Walmart. What is this? What is going on here? What is happening? And because they were unaware that this announcement was coming down the pike, and somehow those shirts got out there. I was like, how FSU is this? That you've botched this completely. That people are like, hey, man, I'm over here at the Walmart. What's going on with FSU stuff?
Why do we have Elvis? Why is Elvis our chief? Which, in their defense, at first blush, I was like, yeah, that's a little Wayne Newton or Elvis, one of the two of them.
But back to my point, and then we'll move on to hour number 2. But I have to say, I don't understand, and I still have never gotten a good answer. They've tried to frame it as it's hard to replicate for purposes of
the dye,
the clothing.
The logo, that made a ton of sense. Yeah, for embroidery purposes, that simplified.
No, but I'm talking about
FSU.
the garnet. They've also hid behind that nonsense with the garnet. Man,
how does BC pull it off?
Pick a garnet and be done with it.
Well, pick the right one.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, correct. Now, you do know we've worn red, we've worn banana yellow.
That is correct.
And
yes.
So I'm saying, there isn't a specific garnet that has a through line from start to finish.
For example, this one does have a little bit. I'm wearing a hoodie with the State of Florida logo, the mustard.
I have that
logo.
one too. In this lighting, that's poor, but yeah.
Yeah, this has a little bit more of the red on it, but I'm okay with
I like that one.
I'm okay with it being a little purplish if you have the mustard State of Florida logo. If you're wearing throwbacks and the color's a little off, hey, be true to the era. Hell, we had a garnet color for a little while that was almost Mississippi State-ish in how muted it was.
Yeah.
I'm okay with different eras being represented, but we all know what the best color amongst them all was. It's not cardinal red, it ain't purple. It's what we had.
It's 2013.
Yeah, you could date it back as far as the mid 2000s. They didn't quite patch the numbers yet, but you nailed it from about 2004, 2005
to 2014,
to 13. Yeah. That
2013
uniform was the best.
It is. It's just so beautiful. You know, it's an awesome uniform. Like when you kick out on the game. And you go to see how we look, and it takes your breath away. Like, oh, look at those beauties compared to the rest of this BS these people wear.
Yeah. Now what we look like is if you were buying Reebok Florida State gear when you're a Nike school, and they try to make so you go to the sporting goods store, you're like, oh, there's a hoodie. Well, oh, what's with that color? Well, it's the Reebok version of the Florida State
So
stuff.
Everybody made a big deal about Jameis mentioning that he gave over $1 million to Florida State. But honestly, I would love that conversation more if Jameis had said, look, the uniform I donned in our national championship campaign in which I won the Heisman Trophy. Yeah, the one on the right. The one on the right is so beautiful. Look at that uniform.
It ain't purple, tell you that much.
No, it's a good-looking uniform. Anyhow, if Jameis had said, I'm going to give you this money, let's get it right. Let's get it right. I mean, we can lose a lot of games, but we're going to look good doing it. Let's get it right. Get these uniforms together. I know most people would say, no. Give that money to the players. Come on, man. Get these uniforms righted.
Well,
Burt Reynolds all those years ago gave us the all garnets.
What I'd say is if we're giving in to Sunday Red for 5 cents, let's give in for $1 and say, Tiger, look, you can have when Jordan Brand went on football uniforms, people were taken aback at first. They thought it was confusing.
My dad's furious. He still hates it. Every time he sees a team like Michigan run out with their Air Jordan uniforms, he's like, he's a basketball player. What are we doing?
Now, the Tiger in Sunday Red is not holding a driver. It's not holding a golf ball. It's just a cool little logo. You throw that on. And I would just say, Trey, if you pull this off with the apparel deal, and Tiger, he says, well, what about if I had the whole thing? Let me in the room.
We will sit down.
Let me in the room.
We will sit down with Tiger and say, this is what has to happen.
This is the color,
This
man.
is the whole thing. Get this right. You'll be a hero for here forevermore.
I don't have the reports with me, but the reports say you're going to do 21% more sales with this color versus that color. Just what do you think? It's just numbers.
Just so you know. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with us. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
It's where you raise your kids, where friends become family, where every corner has a story worth telling. It's your neighborhood. At ABC 27, we share those stories, bringing you news that connects communities, builds pride, and reminds us we're part of something bigger. We are ABC 27, in your neighborhood.
Hey, this is for my homeowner friends out there. You know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good. Get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right. Get a new roof, get eyes on those shimmering new shingles. Get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You got to trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend Greg Miller, Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. That's MillerSeptic.com.
You probably already know that Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas is your one-stop destination for all pool maintenance needs, offering everything you need from chemicals, cleaners, vacuums, nets, and more. But that's not all. Pinch a Penny also carries a huge selection of premium hot springs hot tubs paired with easy financing options, making these luxury hot tubs affordable for everyone. And if you have an older hot tub and you're worried about the hassle of removing it, worry no more. Pinch a Penny will not only remove and haul away your old hot tub, but also offer a trade-in value for a credit towards your new one. So why wait? Visit Pinch a Penny's 12,000 square foot showroom today on Greer Road and discover how effortless and affordable owning a fantastic hot tub can be. Find out more at TallahasseeHotSpring.com. That's TallahasseeHotSpring.com.
Craving something different? Discover the bold and surprising flavors of Peru at Café de Martín. From sizzling lomo saltado to savory handmade empanadas, every dish is made with heart, history, and soul. Crafted by classically trained Chef Martín himself. It's not just food. It's a trip to Peru without the plane ticket. Swing by Café de Martín today and taste the tradition. Café de Martín, authentic Peruvian, right around the corner.
Pay-per-view fights can ring up big bills, especially since in the Octagon, there is one every few weeks. That's why the Seventh Hill Tap Room right downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill carries every single fight. Plus, unlike most pay-per-view bars, there's no cover charge. And drink specials, too, like $3 select domestic beers and more. And if you enjoy international soccer, Seventh Hill opens early. $2 mimosas on Sundays, anyone? The Seventh Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. Just downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee. Your Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
NBA basketball from yesterday. The Orlando Magic lose to the Milwaukee Bucks 116-108 in the loss. Desmond Bain had 31 points. Paulo Banchero adding 17. Jalen Suggs had 16 points, 10 assists, and 4 steals. Magic will not play again until after the All-Star break. That's next Thursday. They'll be on the road for a game against Sacramento. The Miami Heat, they beat the New Orleans Pelicans yesterday, 123-111. Bam Adebayo had 27 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Heat get back at it coming up next Friday, February 20th, when they match up against Atlanta. College basketball yesterday, Florida picks up a big win against Georgia, winning 86-66 this Saturday. They'll take on Kentucky. This Sports Flash is presented by Progressive. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo insurance and save with Progressive. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The Colonel despised the word empty. Empty plates, empty tables, empty stomachs. That's why he made the KFC $5 bowls, like the famous bowl. Creamy mashed potatoes, crispy chicken, corn, gravy, and cheese. Because the only empty the Colonel liked was when you reached the bottom of that bowl. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. 5 KFC bowls for just $5 each.
Prices and participation may vary. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future. Games for Less, Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used games, as well as new and used consoles like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Atari 2600, PS4, and PS5. You name it. Locally owned and operated since 1994, trade-ins are not only welcome, but Games for Less pays more for your trade-ins than the big chain stores. That's not all. Games for Less now buys and sells new and used vinyl records to boot. George loves the Beatles, by the way. Reserve all the new releases today at Games for Less, conveniently located in the Walmart Supercenter Plaza on Appalachian Parkway.
Craving something different? Discover the bold and surprising flavors of Peru at Café de Martín. From sizzling lomo saltado to savory handmade empanadas, every dish is made with heart, history, and soul. Crafted by classically trained Chef Martín himself. It's not just food. It's a trip to Peru without the plane ticket. Swing by Café de Martín today and taste the tradition. Café de Martín. Authentic Peruvian. Right around the corner.
Love to compete on the dartboard? Then it's time to head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is Tallahassee's premier dart bar, featuring steel-tip boards and soft-tip internet play. The Corner Pocket hosts leagues and tournaments regularly. Just check out their social media to find a time that works for you. And in between games, grab a pint and a bite in the cool AC, or enjoy yourself outside on the deck. Whether you want to catch a game or start one of your own, the place to be is the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
baseball. We will be live here tomorrow for a Libations Friday show. Truly a Libations Friday show, because I think we're both going to leave studio tomorrow and make our way over and enjoy the weather and the start of a season of which we have high hopes for. A couple cold ones to boot, and enjoy the game from the stands. Should be perfect. Obviously, we're not expecting Florida State to have problems, but it's baseball. Weird things can happen. So we'll see if they take care of James Madison this weekend. We'll also keep an eye on the weather because, as you noted last hour, Sunday might get a little dicey, so maybe they play 2 on Saturday. We'll see. I'm not a fan of doubleheaders unless they are the old school variety like in Major League Baseball where you have a game starts at noon and another one starts immediately after. They don't do that anymore. They separate them because they want the money. But anyhow.
I would take a Saturday night because we have an engagement on Saturday in the morning. So
we do.
If they had a 6 p.m. first pitch on Saturday, I'd be all for that. Do not have a tee time this weekend on a Sunday, so it could be a nice night at the Oaks. Tomorrow I will be around the tailgate lots pretty soon after we're done here. Whatever time that is, 1:15, 1:20, 1:30. Maybe 1:05. I don't know what time we could be done here. We'll find out. But I love the energy of the opening day out at the Oaks. It's so great.
I was reading during the break. Somebody had asked a question. It was a college football question regarding. I think it was. It was definitely Stuart Mandel's thing. I'm not a big Stuart Mandel guy, but anyhow, that said, this question was pertinent. It was Ohio State's offensive coordinator Arthur Smith and defensive coordinator Matt Patricia are not participating in off-campus recruiting. Is this a trend to attract coaches with NFL experience to take coordinator positions in college? And it's funny because part of the answer was we're seeing an increasing number of really good, say, X's and O's coaches coming in from the NFL who want nothing to do with name, image, and likeness era recruiting. And the example he gave was that Bobby Hauck, Montana's accomplished coach, retired last week at the age of 61, said that dealing with what college football has become is not always enjoyable as a head coach. Brett Bielema hired him as a defensive coordinator. So you had a guy leave as a head coach to become a coordinator because he didn't want to deal with that era of recruiting and what this has become. And I was just thinking about, well, that works fine if your head coach can really recruit. If you've got an elite recruiter as a head coach and he puts that point of emphasis on it, you're fine. But if you don't have somebody who's a good closer and does a good job, because the misnomer is this, that all recruiting is only about the money. And it's not. That's not true. When everybody can offer money, and everybody can, you better be damn well persuasive. You better be charming. You better be good at closing the deal when, for a lot of the candidates that you're recruiting and bringing in, the money's the same. The money's rev share's rev share. Everybody's got the same rev share money. So the only difference is the NIL for the huge, huge, big-time guys that you have to add to the coffers. You got to find an extra $10 to $15 million in order to sweeten the pot for the creme de la creme of the players that you're trying to bring in. Everybody else has got a jumping off point, and most of the people will have, from a percentage of rev share, already understood in terms of roster construction what a quarterback's worth, what a running back's worth, what a lineman is worth, what a linebacker's worth. The only way that changes is if the head coach comes in and says, I have to have this player. We're going to go ahead and buck the market. I'm willing to give this running back $2 million. Everybody else is paying him $1 million. We're getting him. But these things are now slotted in the same way, like when you see the baseball draft. These things are now slotted. Most people, these agents know what running backs make, what receivers make, what linemen make. If you're a five-star guy and the three schools that want you most are Ohio State, Georgia, and Alabama, you're going to get paid pretty well. You're going to do all right. And there's very few people who are going to get involved in that game. Texas Tech can now. Few schools can now in a way that they didn't used to. But everybody else, if you're of the, 3- and 4-star variety, you're not getting an exorbitant fee more than anybody else would be able to give you through the rev share. Not unless a coach is in desperate or dire straits for your services because they don't have any. Like, well, we don't currently have a tight end on the roster, so we're going to have to overpay for one because I want that guy. Maybe, but everybody knows this is pretty well slotted. So your assistant coaches don't have to be great recruiters. They've got to be competent. I don't think you can be in a position where you just refuse to recruit as a coordinator unless, like in the case that we're reading about here, where you have Matt Patricia and Arthur Smith, NFL guys on Ohio State's roster as coaches. That's different. Ohio State these days is kind of it recruits itself. It's its own thing. It's Duke after Coach K had won multiple national titles, right? It's just going to recruit itself. They've got money. They got a ton of it. But also it's Ohio State. I don't count them per se as in the same way that I do everybody else. And also, if you have like Kirby Smart at Georgia, is an excellent recruiter, loves recruiting. Unfortunately for us, Mario Cristobal is an excellent recruiter. That's his reputation. Certainly not being an X and O's guy. It's his relentless effort in recruiting. Yeah, fine. The other guys can be whatever, half-ass. But Florida State doesn't have that. Mike's not an elite recruiter. And so some of these other guys that are on the staff as your OC and DC need to carry their weight because Mike's not an elite recruiter.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's been the same damn story for how many years?
So what I would tell you is it's a case-by-case basis, but using Ohio State as the example where they're not requiring Arthur Smith or Matt Patricia to go out and recruit, and that's why those guys wanted those jobs, that's an outlier. There's not.
Well, we just had one here that didn't want to hit the road.
And he should have. He should have been. That's what I mean. We're not them. We couldn't afford to do that. We haven't rattled off a gazillion 12-win seasons in a row and annual playoff appearances and conference championships annually that we're playing in. That's not who we are right now. So you better have some people that can recruit. And I am worried about that. I don't, it doesn't appear so far that we have guys that are.
I mean, yeah, we've had a presidential term and a half worth of evidence here to know that he doesn't direct it with the urgency necessary.
Mike doesn't, but what I'm saying, the new coaches themselves that are here are not.
Well, Nick Williams might be the Edge's coach. He might be. And we'll see. The problem is he's also hindered by our status as a program. So he might be badass one-on-one in the living room or in the coach's office at a high school when he goes and travels to see a kid where he's at after practice. But when the agent gets into the process or the parent gets into the process at the end, you're still Florida State and you're not on solid ground. Nick, are you going to be with Florida State after this year, after Mike gets fired? Are you a part of the long-term process at Florida State? Can you guarantee to me that my son will get at minimum 2 years out of you? Because if it's 2, I might go there. Is it just this season and we'll see? Yeah. Should we check back in with you, Nick, and say November to see if there's still, something that we need to go with here? That's a tough deal. The money's going to be there for the rev share for a lot of these kids. The good news is once you get into December, what we saw this year for the high school ranks, there isn't as much flipping because the money is already assigned.
Yeah, the old Reedy Rees. Well, this is also why we talked about the frustrations we had in the moment, and I will move on because it is a point of great consternation, and we've certainly vetted it a lot. You are right, though. Once you get into December, things have changed, and the money is already slotted and allotted, and we understand it. But when you're not part of the behind-the-scenes negotiations that are taking place well in advance once the portal opens, then you've got a problem on your hand. And that's where we whiffed. That's where we really struggled. And I would like to say, because I have said to people who've asked this question, will we be better about that going into next year now that we've learned our lesson? Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that I don't think our head's in the sand any longer, but no, in that if you don't win, it really probably won't matter much. Just because you could now get out in front of something you didn't get out in front of before, meaning fostering meaningful relationships with agents who are going to then steer players your way because you're no longer sitting on your wallet. That's great, except for what if you go and have a losing season again? So I can't promise that it's going to be better, even if their headspace is different.
Every coach you brought in could be the best at what they do in recruiting. It doesn't matter right now. Yeah, you've got to win. Now you foster these relationships in the hopes that if you surprise on the field this season, now you're in a position to close strong, and people will be blown away by your ability to recruit and close. And they say, wow, how about that? Florida State kept a lot of irons in the fire, and then they win a couple of games, and bam, look at this run of commitments that Florida State has gotten. That's your path right now. You just got to keep getting top kids on campus and hope it pops for you on the field. Because even the commitments you do get, let's say you do get a commitment from some of these top guys, it's got to be contingent upon this year's on-field success for many of them, right? It has to be.
100%. And it is interesting every day that we get. I said this to you the other day, like, I'm certainly never going to knock the stories that come out this time of year because this is the time of year that we're in. I mean, you're going to get some basketball-related stuff. You're going to get the upcoming baseball season, softball stuff. But this is kind of a deader time for websites like Warchant.
Dead as it gets.
I mean,
Let's
just admit it. This is what it is now, right? It's a pretty damn dead time.
We're thankful for baseball tomorrow.
The sports calendar has shifted quite a bit. I like the fact that we've always meandered about and sometimes do entire hours in which very little sports are talked about. But the point is there isn't a lot festering there. And when you go to a website like Warchant and you see a highly productive running back Ty Keys locks in an official visit, then you see about another player who's, Zachary Johnson or whatever, right? I think most people are kind of like me, like, well, cool. I mean, great. Somebody is a high-profile player and they're visiting Florida State. That's good, not bad. But we all know it doesn't really matter unless they start winning.
Well, yeah, that's the fan perception versus the importance that they have to treat it with in the four walls of the football-only facility. I mean, you got to keep plugging away. And I think they put themselves in a position 2 years ago to have a very good recruiting class. The 24 class could have been really good if you didn't go 2-10. But they were in position to be a top 10, top 8 class if they didn't fall completely on their face. And that's the tough deal here. So now you're stuck. You're stuck in neutral, but you went on the football field and these things can flip. But you've got to cultivate these relationships. And I would dare say that if we were in a winning place, those stories, people would say, okay, how can we add to the process?
Because you'd have a chance to stamp it. Yeah, you would definitely want to look at something like that. You'd be like, all right, well, they got a chance to make it happen.
The suck tax extends everywhere, sir. It's got more appendages than octopi.
So I went through and, culled all of the way too early predictions, both on a national basis and, level where they're looking at the top 25 and all that. And I know those rankings don't mean anything, but every year once the season's over and ribbons put on a national championship and then a Super Bowl, we get the ones about free agency in the NFL, the upcoming draft, and who's going to turn it around next year. And you get the same stories with college, and there's a multitude of them. So I read like 6 in the last week and a half. Some I needed to catch up on that I hadn't seen. There was one on 3 that I just got done reading yesterday. And I wanted to dig down deeper, like, what does anybody think about what happened with Gus? Does that affect where they would put us? Or is it just we've been so bad we're an afterthought in every one of these lists anyhow? The one on 3 has Miami number 1, which you would have guessed. But right off the bat, you got SMU. And, of course, we play both those teams. And we've talked a lot about this schedule, and it's a little hairy. It's a little bit difficult. You better have yourself buttoned up a little bit here. But they had SMU number 2. And considering that SMU has, played for an ACC championship and nearly played for another one just last year, they've come into the conference and earned a reputation pretty quickly and understandably. They had Virginia 3, Louisville 4, Va Tech at 5, NC State at 6, Clemson at 7, which if you're a Clemson fan, you're going, geez, slide continues. Georgia Tech fell to 8 in this projection. Again, this is a way too early projection. It's just a on 3 guess. We'll see. Cal at 9, and when Cal was still ahead of us, I went, damn, but they got a quarterback.
They do.
10 is Florida State, rounding out the top. From there, it's
that's an improvement. 10? There's 25 teams in this conference. We're dead last.
They had us 10 ahead of ACC champion Duke. Then it was North Carolina, Pitt, Wake, Syracuse, Stanford, and they're residing at the bottom where they love to reside, Boston College. And I can't say much more than that because we've been right there with them.
Well, yeah, we're worse than them in the last 2 years.
But that's the list, okay? And when I see us at 10, it's still startling. It doesn't even mean anything. It's a way too early projection of the conference by somebody I've never heard of, and I'm not ripping that person. I just don't know who they are. But when I see our name and I see ACC way too early projections and I see us behind the likes of Cal, it's toughy. It's a toughie.
It's almost a shrug emoji worthy.
I think it's probably shrug emoji. And I'm not mad as in Well, this guy. I used to get mad when I saw things like that. Of course, the discussion usually was a little bit different. You would read the article if you were reading an athlon or something like that. They're like, I've got FSU third this year. I think they're going to struggle. Third? What is wrong with you? There's not two teams better than FSU in the ACC. That used to be the anger-inducing moment. Now you see 10 and you're like, seems about right.
I feel like this roster could be in the middle group of the ACC, starting with Team 4, Team 5, where it's all the same. But the problem is that last year's roster did a really good job of raising the floor, and we didn't cash in. We didn't cash in with it. You started 3-0. You had all the momentum in the world. If they were front runners, you are running from the front. And yikes, man. That's the hard part here is they might have done some better legwork than we think in the portal this year. Will they do a better job coaching it?
Well, I don't think they're going to be hurt by Gus's absence. I don't think he cared to be here. I think there was a whole lot of half-stepping going on here. A lack of passion.
I'm trying to think of something that Gus might have cared about less than
football?
being here. The media, maybe? Maybe that's it. It's like the one thing.
Don't search too far, buddy. It's right here. It's you, it's me, it's any of us.
But then second to last, go into his office.
Shannon Young, my man, he is going to get you the loan you need to get the house that you want. You can do it in 7 different states: Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, and the Carolinas. Better rates, better options, stronger support, and faster response. It's all because he's with Cross Country Mortgage, the nation's largest mortgage company. A lot of resources there. But to me, it's about the commitment to you, the intelligence and hardworking, the energy, the passion. He does all those things, 20-plus years in the business. Find out for yourself. Loansforknowles.com. That's loansforknowles.com.
This time of year, we enjoy spending time outdoors in this beautiful North Florida climate until the mosquito attack begins.
Paul's Termite and Pest Control can help you take your yard back. We have an affordable program to help keep mosquitoes away, and our program even helps with other pests like ticks.
Mosquitoes are a nuisance to you, and by carrying diseases such as heartworms, they can be harmful to your pets.
Learn more about how Paul's can help protect you, your family, and your pets from mosquitoes. For the elimination of termites, pests like mosquitoes,
and a greener lawn too,
call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Do you want to take your yard back by having a green and pest-free lawn?
At Paul's, we understand the unique needs of your North Florida lawn, which is why we developed a program to address those concerns.
Our treatment program includes inspection, treatment, and education on best practices for optimized results while remaining environmentally conscious. An added benefit is that our lawn treatment is flea suppression, so having a greener lawn can help protect your pets too. For a greener lawn and the elimination of fleas too,
call Paul's. We'll get them all.
This is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. You've probably heard the saying, marry the house, date the rate. Here's what that means. If you love the home, do not wait on the perfect interest rate. You can always refinance later, and I can help you plan for that from day one. In fact, a lot of homeowners I worked with last year are refinancing right now and saving hundreds each month. Others are using the equity in their homes to invest, buying second homes or rental properties that are already building wealth. So whether you're looking to lower your monthly payment, get cash out, or start an investment portfolio, let's talk strategy. I'll walk you through your options and find the smartest financial move for where you are right now. You can find me at loansforknowles.com. That's loansforknowles.com. You can reach me at 954-369-6171. That's 954-369-6171. I'm Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage, and I want to help give you the keys to your next opportunity.
And here come the leaves, thousands of them, falling fast, covering every inch of the yard. But wait, who's this rushing in? It's the Lawn Johns with the ultimate fall cleanup blitz. From clearing leaves to fresh pine straw and mulch, the Lawn Johns dominate the field, your yard, so you can focus on what matters. Grilling, chilling, and cheering on your team. Don't let leaves sack your game day fun. Call the Lawn Johns today and win the battle of the backyard. The Lawn Johns, your lawn, our game.
Looking for the ultimate date night upgrade? The Donald L. Tucker Civic Center is serving up sweet seats and sips for men's basketball. Just $75 all in gets you 2 club seats and 2 drinks for any remaining home game. Use code DATE26 before February 14th. Premium seats, great views, drinks included. It's the perfect game plan. Grab your sweet seats and Sips package at Ticketmaster.com. But hurry, this offer ends Valentine's Day.
This is Thomas Dickens from the Law Office of Marie Maddox. I'm a combat veteran and a former JAG. I've fought for our country, and now I fight to get you your back wages. If your boss has ever shorted your paycheck or withheld your overtime, you need to call me now. 850-383-4800. 850-383-4800. Or find us online at maddoxlaw.com.
Offices in Tallahassee.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Garnet and Gold says, I have a great feeling with the baseball team. It feels like this team might have the most power we've had at any time since Link's been here. I don't think that's true, Garnet and Gold. If we do, my goodness gracious, I would be stunned. They had an elite offensive lineup 2 years ago that hit dong after dong after. It was dongapalooza.
Well, I could kind of see the point here if you're thinking about ships passing each other in the night, that maybe this roster has a ton of home run power on it for all of their careers, but they might not be able to stack it. They should. I mean, if they do, that'd be crazy. That group had a lot of power, not the most depth in the world with power. I feel like this group has, if some of these kids develop on a fast track, there's a lot of pop up and down the lineup. It's just you won't be able to concentrate it 2 through 6 the way that group did 2 years ago. That was insane the way they could hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Well, and let's not forget, I mean, they really hit exceptionally well a year ago. I mean, I think if they're anywhere close to that this year, I would be elated. I get your enthusiasm. I'm not poo-pooing your enthusiasm for what this team is. I think it's going to be a really good baseball team. And I think there's a lot of talent here. So it only takes, I talked about this the other day. We did not see Lo Deese becoming a elite hitter the way that he did a year ago. Now, it waned late in the year, unfortunately, but he was a guy that, I mean, he projected to have a good year, but he ended up having a year that would have been hard to project. So it only takes a guy doing that. College baseball, you see that, though. You do. I mean, I can think of countless examples of kids that, I mean, one of them is Buster Posey. You don't go from hitting whatever it was, 6 home runs to 20-plus home runs in a year like he did all that often. But you do see, because of their ages, first is the adjustment to the pitching and the variety of pitching that they see and how quickly they have to adjust. We use the example of Miles Bailey all the time, how early in the season he started off great, had a little, like a mini lull as people began to get the book on him and, where you can and can't miss, that kind of thing. So he adjusted to their adjustment, which is the beauty of the game of baseball. This goes on at every level. But as the tools become greater to scout players, high school a lot of times is difficult. You don't have the same equipment and the ability to really scout a player the way they do in big-time college baseball. So he got adjusted to, and then he adjusted. And then we got into conference play, and the overall expertise of pitchers was much greater than that in non-conference, and he had a lull, and it didn't last long. He adjusted to that, and then by the end of the year, he was a guy that really – he could hit elite pitching. He could hit to all fields. That's why we're so eager to see what he is this year as he enters the season as a guy who had made all the adjustments and could really hurt you in a lot of ways. But the jump that I'm speaking of, where guys go from a year in which maybe they hit, they're a good hitter. They hit 318, They have 7 home runs, a lot of doubles usually that are good indicators that power's coming if you're a doubles hitter. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this guy's going to hit 380 with 18 bombs. This guy's going to make that kind of a leap. That happens in college. Hardworking kids, adjusting, age difference, you start seeing that big leap forward. It does happen. And there are candidates on this team to do that, to pull the Lodis that we saw a year ago. And if that happens, then, maybe you're right. Garnet and Gold, maybe you're right at that point. I think they've got, the way I described them is that I think they've got a lot of options. I think they've got power, sure. But to say you think it's the most that they're going to have in Lynx time, it would be hard to surpass that group from a couple years ago. That was something.
Yeah, I think it's Fisher and Carnes that you're leaning on to get you there if you're thinking that way.
Carnes he would need to take he would have to uptick to double digits, which I think he can.
Well, and if you have Fisher to go along with that, then now you've stacked the middle of the order. You got Chase operating on top of there. I know that he might platoon, but I really like Delamalure this year to have a jump. In limited action last year, he did hit 6 home runs. It's just 20. I mean, he appeared in 37 games, but he only started 25. That's half a season. You could see him platooning and maybe being platoon plus. And I don't know if that means DH. I don't know if that means more time in the outfield, but I could see him hitting 13, 15 home runs this year.
All right. So I was writing down notes. Here you go, Tom. I counted 5 guys that I think that we may roll out there on a daily basis as this season rolls along who end up with 15 or more home runs. And this would end up making Garnet and Gold's point if we end up having that kind of balance of power in the roster, in the lineup.
5 guys with 15 or more?
Yep, you ready?
So really quickly, just for context sake, last year we only had 4 guys that accomplished such a feat.
All right, you ready? Miles, Cal, Putnam, Carnes, Brody.
Yeah, Putnam's okay. Now, I'm glad you brought up Putnam. I don't know word one about Putnam, and I'm looking forward to finding out just what the hell he is, because I know much fanfare when we thought about him in the offseason, the throes of the offseason, and Florida State gets Putnam. Okay, did you see him on Saturday? What does he profile as to you? Like, what does he look like in the box? What's his?
He's a strong kid. I saw a couple of ABs. I don't feel comfortable telling you I know what he is. I know what they think of him. I think he hit a single in that bat. The one that stood out to me. He roped a single, but he's got power, and he's got. Okay, how about this, Tom? He's got the kind of power that they're trying to figure out how to play him every day.
Mm-hmm, right,
so
right.
You wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, he's not. They had to get him off of second base because statistically that's just not. He doesn't play a good second base. So they put him over at third. And, if
does he have the arm?
Yeah. But if he can handle it, that they want that bat in the lineup. So he projects that way.
So I'm looking at last year's home run totals. Obviously, Miles led the team with 19. He would do well to get back there again with the amount of pitches that he's going to see.
That's why you better have somebody to protect him.
Yeah, it'd be tough for him to get back there. If he does, that means a lot of good things have happened in the middle of the lineup. Max hit 19 for us as well. Lodis at 17 and Thoreau 16. Then Cal was your next guy at 8.
So Cal was on my list of guys that could hit 15 home runs.
Yeah, you're talking about predictive numbers. He had 11 doubles last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really solid number. That was 3rd on the team, tied 2nd actually behind Lodis. Miles had 11 as well. Then there's Hunter Carnes. He played in 40 games.
He's on my list of guys that could hit 15 home runs.
And he gave you 6.
Yeah.
But then there's Brody starting 25, playing 37 games at 6.
On my list.
Then Chase, I wonder, he hit 2. I'm not telling you he's going to hit 10, but now that he's fully healthy, for this bandbox we play in, Chase Williams can hit a lot of home runs, I would think.
Yeah, bandbox to right, not a bandbox to left.
But he gets to play both ways in terms of at the plate.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to protect against injury. I mean, he was a one-armed man, and yet he was, a presence at the plate for a good stretch of time before the postseason.
I felt sorry for him because he was trying to – I mean, the kid's tough. He was trying to play through a really significant shoulder injury, and it limited, first of all, how he could swing, and obviously the lack of consistency was revealed. But I can't wait to see him play. I can't wait. Look, he's either a
I can't
left
believe
field.
that Link went on record saying Stutzer is step for step with Chase too. That really puts it in perspective.
I had 2 people tell me that he tied and or beat him in a race.
Wow. Okay.
So that tells you the speed Stutzer has.
And Chase was 18-20 on the base pass, stealing bags last year.
Yeah.
And
missed time.
Missed 20 games.
He's going to steal over 40 bases this year.
40?
He'll steal over 40 bases if he's healthy. Yeah. If he's healthy and he plays the season, doesn't miss significant time, he'll steal over 40
And if
bases.
Stutzer is a platoon guy, he'll give you 15.
Yeah, 15 is probably a lot he's young. And again, he was not a full-time baseball player prior to getting here. He played baseball, but he was a great football player, a really good athlete, period. This is the first time in his life he's been able to singularly focus on baseball and baseball only, as in, this is what I'm trying to turn pro in. This is how I'm going to get paid. So what his leap is just a guess, but based on the overall athleticism and the excitement that Link has expressed when he talks about that young man, again, goodness gracious, compares him to Mike Trout. Now, when people hear that, they go, wait, come on, man, Mike Trout's going to the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I think what he means is a young Mike Trout, whom Link, if I could say his name instead of saying Leak, recruited. He remembered the athleticism and the twitchiness and the strength. So if you want to say Stutz, that's a comp because he's a great athlete and he's fast and stocky. Fair enough. I don't think he means like, oh, I think the kid's going to go on to be a Hall of Fame baseball player. Maybe he will, but yeah, I don't know anybody that would project that for a freshman in college.
Now I'm starting to do the game in my head, which is not good for radio, but I'm doing the game in my head where I'm thinking about how you put the lineup together. That's where I am. I'm right back to it. I'm trying to think of how you slot Miles in there, where you put him to start the season, and how you juxtapose on days that you got Carnes in there with Fisher and Putnam from the right side. How do you break it up properly?
It's fun to do.
There's a lot to sort through here.
You do know, by the way, while you're trying to figure out the roster or the lineup, I should say, for any given.
I'm going to be doing that all the way till first pitch tomorrow, I think.
Well, we'll do it for full weekends because he's going to tinker. He's going to have a lot of fun tinkering with all this stuff for a while here. He's going to mix and match and do those things, but he doesn't have to mix and match on the hill. We know what that is. It's now been announced. It's Wes Mendez getting your Friday start, Trey Beard Saturday, Bryson Moore Sunday.
So it's lefty, lefty, righty.
Yeah, and so Moore, the transfer from Virginia, who early on made an impression at Virginia. Anytime you're in the weekend rotation for a program like Virginia as a freshman, you're a stud. Got hurt. It's limited his time. But here we are, a couple years removed from that, and he's made the rotation. Not surprised. Big, strong kid, by the way. When you see him, you'll see he's stocky. Lower half is stocky. Strong kid. Just you're gonna like him. He looks like a pro. Like when you see him. I'm not talking about stuff. The stuff's good. But when you see him, you're going to go, oh, that guy carries himself like a pro.
Okay.
Big, strong kid, really just sort of.
So the Sundays are going to be a little bit more subdued on the bump for
I
Florida State?
haven't seen him in competition against an opposing team. So, I don't know how many of our guys are going to taunt our own guys. So maybe I would have missed that in the scrimmage. But as far as, the way he handles himself, the composure, the way he walks on and off the mound, the way he works in and at bat, he was to me, that was the thing that stood out. Not just good stuff, which is the first thing that stands out. But when you look at him, you're like, guys, he's been around. He's done this.
We're talking in very specifics. We're getting into the weeds here about Florida State and the lineup and the rotation.
It's the day before the start of the season. Of course we are.
Well, no, I was going to ask you a question that's a little bit, you pull away a little bit. We get to call it St. Patrick's Day. We get to spring break. You will start to dare to dream about what this team can do beyond our baseline expectation of, all right, let's get competitive. Let's get to Omaha. You will start to dare to dream if you see what? Is it the power at the plate up and down? Is it protection from Miles?
Protection from Miles. Carnes taking a massive step forward across the board at catcher, meaning defensively and offensively. He's already shown a glimpse of what that can be, so I expect that he's going to hit. I want to see how much better is he defensively than he was a year ago. So I like that as one. And I think it's going to be important that we see, we talk about the need for somebody to protect Miles. I got to see that we're more than average defensively in the infield. That's a big one for me.
You
Because
ain't
I think
mine.
those are the questions to me. Because you got, look, I think Cal can play short. He looked competent, more than competent the other day when I saw him. And they wouldn't. Link is a stickler about that sort of thing. If he had taken, because he's already got a position. You've already seen him play well at a position. So at third. So you don't have to put him at short. You know he can play third. And yet you chose to do it. We're a day away from the season, and Cal projects as your starting shortstop. I just did the interview with Link. You heard it. He basically told you that he didn't balk when I said Cal at short. So do you think they would have gone through all of fall and all of that they've done, and he's out here sucking ass, and he's going to roll him out there anyhow? Link would never do that when it comes to defense.
No, but is he having to fall back on some things rather than with enthusiasm place guys on the infield or place guys defensively? I think that's the subtext question here is, all right, are you thrilled about this? This is functional, but is it something that you're thrilled about?
Yeah.
I would agree with you. There's nothing that can take the air out of a building or the wind out of your sails as a fan more than booting an easy routine play on the infield and there being an extra out and the application of game pressure that needed not be there in the first place.
Yeah.
And now you're 2-0 to the next hitter. And here comes Posey, which that's one thing. Doesn't matter what team I root for. When the pitching coach comes out, means something good's not happening. The only time they come out where it's neutral is if there's a pinch hitter and they come out to give you the scouting report on the pinch hitter. Otherwise, anytime you see the pitching coach, you're in a bad place mentally.
Yeah, occasionally it is a preemptive move to calm somebody down who's overthrowing. And,
Right.
And there's no danger yet. I know that you would consider that bad, but it's not necessarily like, oh, no. It's just, hey, man, he's overthrowing a little bit here. We need to
But if you, go ahead, sit in the stands and have a second baseman boot one, an easy one. That's either a double play or a routine play. And then you run it 2-0, 3-0, and here comes the pitching coach. I mean, there's a lot of GD at energy in those 45 seconds as your guy is strolling out to the bump. And that's where you said it. You said that's probably on your list or near the top. For me, that is
very much on
at the top.
I think they're going to be fine in the outfield. They've got speed for days out there. It's just a question of whether or not Chase is going to be in left or in center. But they're more than competent in the outfield. I think you look at catcher. Tired of having that conversation, by the way.
And that was the most contrite, if I can use that word, Link was about anything in the interview with you. Now, it was bad last year is essentially what he said.
Well, I had to start biting my tongue because a certain guy that played back there at catcher for a bulk of the season.
He's gone now. He can't hurt you anymore.
I think we were like 30 games in the season. Dude had one double. Okay. It was a toughie. It'd be one thing if you were a wizard with the glove.
Right, yeah. And all the rhetoric about him being in lineup. Well, he gives us a shot now. You're like, does he?
Gives us a shot to ground out the second. Hit 210. That's what he gives us. So, yeah, that was a toughie. I wish the young man well. I hope he blossoms at the next level. But what I would – that we got to take the big step.
Yeah, the Billy Strode path did not work for that particular player.
No. We got to have a big step forward there. And then I want to know that we can be competent, in particular on the left side of the infield. I think we're going to be fine on the right side. Left side, I need to see some competence, more than competence. We need to be good. We're not going to be as good up the middle. Not going to happen. You just don't, those two guys were elite. What it was.
But if they're making plays, ranging to make plays in the infield.
Buddy, I'll perk it up at that point. And the final thing to answer that question, because we all saw the disaster by season's end out of that bullpen. They went really hard on trying to bring in a variety of arms that look different, that come at you from different angles, that have different pitches. We didn't have a lot of variety last year. And Micah admitted that in the interview I did with him the other day, which was that we needed a variety of different kinds of fastballs. We had too many guys that threw the same kind of fastball. We didn't have anybody who could throw a sinker. I remember I was laughing because former Seminole great Doug Minkiewicz reached out to me, and he was like, does anybody on this staff throw a sinker? I'm sitting here watching us every night. I've yet to see one.
Doug's locked in.
Oh, he's locked in, cares deeply. And he was like, I was like, well, I can ask. He was pissed. But, yeah, he's locked in. But, that's the kind of thing baseball people are looking at. Like, man, we got too many guys to throw from the same slot and, too many guys that throw.
Yeah. Well, the hard part is, too, that nobody wants to be in the bullpen in college. So
That's correct.
It's something
tough luck, buddy.
You got to manage personalities, but I'd love to see, and I know it's against their philosophy, but I'd love to see them luck into having just a closer, stud.
Yeah, I don't think that's this year.
They don't search for it.
They
They
don't
don't
want
yearn
it.
for it.
They
They
don't
don't
want
want it, and that is frustrating. That is the one philosophical thing about this regime where I go, man. But the ninth inning does matter.
Philosophically, man, they just don't believe in it.
I think it is different, the ninth inning. You may say not. And look, he's got an idea, the right idea, which is the fewer pitchers we use, the better chance we have to win. Okay. I still think the ninth inning's pretty important, and what comes with it's a little different.
Yeah, they would argue with that assessment. They'd tell you, hey, look, man, I'm not telling you we don't think it's important. We just think that there's a way to attack it with a variety of arms.
With any number of guys. I don't know, man.
That's what they would tell you. Well, we can disagree on it. I don't mean me and you, but you and Micah.
I feel like if the bigs had set the agenda there and said, well, any old guy can be out there and pitch that. But it's just not, that's not the way.
Well, they got to do it if you want to go that route. And I don't know how they're going to use him because they've also tinkered with the idea of him being a Tuesday starter or at least getting some opportunities. The Stokes kid from Oregon throws 97 to 100. And I saw it and I heard it, and it is every bit of that. It popped on the scoreboard repeatedly on Saturday. 97, 98, 97, 98. He can bring the heat now. The problem is, as much as they may want to make that dude the closer, and he does have that live-ass fastball, they're not real sure where the other ones are going. And he can't have a guy that only shows fastball and can't throw strikes with his other pitches because then that's a recipe to get beat. You're going to walk somebody because you can't throw a slider for a strike. Everybody's going to sit dead red. And even 98 gets hit out of the ballpark when they all know it's coming.
It does. A little less in college.
Yeah.
I'd like to see those triple digits. Come on, give me a little Ricky Wild thing.
Jeff Cameron, Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
A Leon County man is behind bars and facing multiple human trafficking. Marshal Service. This is Rachel Lene with your Old Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. 73 this afternoon under mainly clear skies, winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. 46 tonight, clear skies. Tomorrow, highs around 73. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Saturday, with daytime highs approaching 73. 70 thunderstorms likely Sunday. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently, it's 72 degrees.
What'd your mom pack you for lunch? Let's see. A turkey sandwich, chips, and... Oh, fresh from Florida strawberries. I'll trade you for some string cheese. Sure. Here's my sandwich and my chips. No, I want the Florida strawberries. Seriously? No way. Can I throw in my juice box? You can throw in your lunchbox. You're not getting my Florida strawberries.
Pack the snacks your kids want to eat. Look for the sunny, fresh from Florida logo where you shop.
How about my new sneakers? Nope. These earbuds? Nope. My backpack?
Nope. Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy? I was just thinking, they never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Oh, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct. Yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules. The neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played.
And you still try to break the rules, right?
Oh, If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life.
And the best game you ever played was that game.
Never been a better one.
Hey, you want to have a Gordo smash, Jeff?
I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
All right, ladies, hang in there. I see a 1-1 with Texas Tech, Tommy. You got it on in there?
I don't have the video on, but I will pull up the live stats so I can get you the most up to the minute. 3-2 Texas Tech.
Well, God dog it, I am miles behind. Are you sure?
Top of the 6th, we have a runner on second with 2 out.
Well, kind of a big deal here. Gonna need a base hit. Well, this thing is incredibly slow. I was sitting here taking it all in. And then all of a sudden
You have the video up?
No, I've got FSU's updates up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just updated. I see. I was behind. That's on me. Damn it, man. Texas Tech didn't take their first lead to the bottom of the 5th. We were up 1-0 and they scored 3.
Yep, that's right.
Son of a gun. Ooh. See, this is what we're talking about, Tom. I'm glad I wasn't watching it. So you have a double and a single that ties the game to start the inning. And force Jazzy into the circle. Fielder's choice didn't end in an out, which put 2 runners on base.
Oh, boy. This is what we were just talking about.
That's what I'm telling you. Got to make the play. Got to make a play.
McKenzie flies out, foul territory, third base line, going to the bottom of the 6th, down 3-2.
That's your ball game. Maybe not. Maybe not. Look at me, already a sourpuss. Maybe we'll rally. It doesn't feel good though. Is the fact that we scored a run? Was it against the girl, the $1 million arm?
Kennedy. Let's see. Yeah, 1 earned. So there was an error. No, they're not even throwing her. They were throwing Caitlin Terry.
Well, damn it, man. Okay, so we didn't face the $1 million arm. Man, what an era to grow up in, right? To be a softball pitcher or to be really any athlete that's very, very good coming out of high school now, as opposed to when I came out or really anybody, say 10 years ago. I mean, imagine what it would feel like we're friends with Alicia. She was a very, very good softball player. She was a pitcher. Imagine now coming out of high school as a pitcher, like an upper crust pitcher in the state. There were very few options for women. I mean, you can get a scholarship to go play in college. I'm not saying that didn't exist. But can you imagine now if you're an elite softball player, you could make 6 figures? I mean, obviously you got a girl making $1 million, but for the most part, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, this is where the most earning potential is. They have professional leagues. They're really trying to get professional softball off the ground.
They've been trying for 50 years.
It's struggling. So what's interesting is that college is where your earning power is the highest. Yes. It's a rare sport where that's the case. There are some others like it, but softball stands out probably the most of any sport that would pay.
I never thought I'd see somebody make $1 million in college softball. I mean, obviously the rules were very different, so it couldn't have happened. But I mean, come on.
And with the rulings being made for, say, football players being able to play forever, if I'm a softball player, I am taking note, doing whatever I need to do to get 6 years in college and to be making 6 figures each one of those years, walk out with a graduate degree and $1 million in my bank account. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. I mean, but I will say the pressure that has seeped down now further and further into the ranks of, say, high school sports. Imagine you go into your junior year of high school and you're one of the better players in whatever your sport might be in the state. You're now staring at real money in a way that you never thought about before. You just thought about getting a scholarship or even a partial scholarship, just something to help out. And now you could be looking at 400,000, 500,000, 600,000. What a time to be alive as a student athlete. Although once you get up there, the student part is probably removed in a way that it hasn't been in a long, long time.
I can't fathom the concept of two things when it comes to college today. Number one, the existence of an athlete in the social media era making as much money as they do while being a student. That's the first thing I just can't fathom. Tony Douglas was in my class. Drew Weatherford was in my class. Christian Ponder was in my class.
Right.
That was normal. Now there's a separation, not just the earnings that you make, but then also clout, social media. They got to probably protect themselves a little bit more. The Jameis Winston thing at the Union that he got suspended for, it can't happen. I don't think that
it wouldn't happen.
Your team would tell you. You'd have a team of people say, you're not going to the Union. You talk about going to the Union. Are you doing something that we're filming for charity? Because if we're not doing that, then you're not going to the Union.
Well, this is the hard part, though. This is the thing that is going to be hard to overcome for people that have turned their back on what's happening in college athletics. I heard a guy in an interview the other day, longtime announcer for Michigan, who said, look, Michigan's basketball team, loaded. 4 of the 5 starters they brought in, they're all mercenaries. They're NBA guys. They're going to be there for this year. That Arizona's the number 1 team in the country. Many people believe Michigan's the second best team in the country. It may work out for them. They may win the national title. We'll see. Those guys are all gone. It's a one and done thing. Nobody's attached to those people. And it works if you've got gazillions of dollars to just go ahead and pay to bring in superstars for a year. But there is no collegial feel anymore. And that is not a good thing, I think, long-term for college athletics.
I agree. The second thing I don't understand is how to live in college town. How I would have survived it, because I don't think I could have.
Yeah, it's tough to be a young man in that circumstance. The temptations are bountiful. I wouldn't have survived it either, buddy. I'd have had a hard time with that. But there are mature kids, like my son that's sitting next to you.
That is correct.
Wouldn't affect him.
No.
My youngest, he'd be done.
I'd be in the middle. And there's also attendance penalties now, so that's really big ones.
Yeah.
I had attendance penalties, but they had some massive ones now.
Final hour, bonus hour, fourth coming. Stay with us. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Water is your home's worst enemy. It finds cracks, soft spots,